Joining us now, James Ward, a licensed real estate broker and owner of Shore Points Vacations. James, appreciate you being with us today.
Thanks for having me, Bill.
About the last minute guy. I remember years ago when my kids were little, my wife Jody and I would say, hey, let's take 4 days at Labor Day before the kids are back in school. And I would get last minute deals. This is going back 15 years or so, but are they available? And what about shoulder season, local summer? Are they the better deals?
I mean, they used to be. I mean, you're going to get if the house is 10,000 in July, it's likely 5 or 6,000 in June. And look at the weather we've had recently for a bargain price. Yeah. But it's becoming harder to rent the shoulder seasons for whatever reason. Most people are looking to do shorter than 1 week, and a lot of towns have imposed some rental restrictions with minimums required now, and that's really kind of cut the legs out of the industry. And that's also why you're seeing people trying to make up for a lot of the lost income with their July and August weeks that they have. But to answer your question, yes, the last minute things are still always available. We just had somebody come in yesterday. They got nearly 2 weeks for $11,000 on a massive house with a pool right across from the beach and boardwalk. And he did the same thing last year. People know to do that. You'll find a deal if you wait.
Yeah, negotiation and working a deal still reigns supreme. I love it. I was going to say, James, give me that tip for folks, because one thing, if you work with a licensed real estate broker, you go to a guy like you at least know your confidence is 100% that you're getting an actual property that exists with an owner that has taken care of that property.
Every week we get a call. Somebody, they're at the door and no one's there. The code just doesn't work, and their $1,000 weekly rental doesn't exist. And we try to scramble to help them, but that won't happen if you're working with somebody reputable, or even if you're on the major platforms, you're probably okay. But then you're paying the taxes and the fees. You'll save a lot, and you'll have the security if you work with someone like me.
There you go. I love to hear it. James Ward, go get him. Owner of Shore Points Vacations. Appreciate you. Thanks for joining me.
I think what people need to understand is that, the product is totally different. Thanks to Sandy, thanks to COVID, the housing stock was increased.
A lot of folks are just going to VRBO or Airbnb or sometimes direct. Are you seeing a change in the calls that you're getting?
Big time. I've been doing this since 2001. Back then we had a Rolodex and people showed up President's Day weekend, you might remember, and they'd line up and we'd show them the houses. They would see them and then they would rent them. Look, it's obviously much different now. You've got the online portals like Vrbo, Airbnb. You've got credit cards in the mix, so people are able to spend more and pay it off over time. So that's had an effect on the pricing. And it's just changed the whole dynamic of how people view the Jersey Shore. I think one consequence we're seeing there is that, you can be looking at, Point Pleasant Beach, New Jersey, for example, in 1 minute, and then the next year, at cruises out of Bayonne, or you're looking at airfare to someplace else that's trying to capture the same consumer. When you pay $900,000 for a house instead of $600,000 a house, you're not going to be able to have a $3,000, weekly rental available for somebody. It's going to be double that. And that's where we're seeing a big kind of bifurcation in what the rental properties are that are available to people. You've got, on one hand, those smaller type of houses that are becoming harder to rent and the prices are actually coming down. And then you've got the more expensive 6+ bedroom house with a pool, and you've got 3 families that are coming in together and they're taking that house and they're actually saving instead of renting a smaller house without those amenities.
That's an interesting thought.
When you